All right, what's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage coming to you live just outside of Bend, Oregon, in a little area called Sun River, Oregon. Pretty gorgeous. A little chilly, but we got some sun, and I'm here for the Thanksgiving holiday with my family. I am sitting down with Mike Garrett, just outside of Atlanta. Is that right, Mike?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Looks beautiful where you're at, but yeah, I'm here just north of Atlanta.
Good. Well, thank you for making time to share what you're doing to win in today's market. For anyone who doesn't know Mike on this, he is how many years have you been doing this, Mike?
Right at 20 years now.
So 20-year, 2-decade veteran. He's going to close a little over 100 million this year, did about 110 million last year, serving over 400 families. So he definitely has a team and a mortgage practice that is winning. To me, the most important metric of all is the number of total cost analysis that he delivers to families. Because we all know in this community, the mortgage coach community, that when you give a family a total cost analysis, it is a different level of value for the consumer. And his team averages a little over 30 of those every month and has done over 1,600. So you are a mortgage coach grandmaster, Mike.
Absolutely. It was great getting that badge.
Yeah, you like that little badge?
Absolutely. Those are cool.
You know, it's so funny, when loan officers move or, start new companies, we're like, hey, my badge doesn't come with me. And we're like, maybe we need to figure out a way to make people be able to carry their badge along, even when they move companies. But
right.
we're getting everybody wants to be a black belt at something. And being a grandmaster red belt's even better than a black belt. So
absolutely.
Pretty cool. So I thought we'd center this call while we're not having the bidding wars that we had earlier this year, where it was just insanity in the marketplace. It sounds like you're still having quite a few competitive situations. Could you just describe how the market's changed for you for home buyers?
Yeah, so we're it's still super competitive in the Atlanta metro area, and the biggest change that we've seen is historically in Atlanta, the sellers have always paid closing costs, at least a good portion of the closing costs for the buyer on a transaction. And because of the market that we've been in over the last 6-9 months, that's kind of changed. And that's created some buyers to where, first-time home buyers, especially, to where they may not have the cash to cover the down payment and the closing costs. So we use Mortgage Coach a lot to help educate clients and to show them different options of how to kind of get around that, by raising the interest rate a little bit and us covering some of the closing costs. To educate them on what all their options are versus just, bypassing the home buying experience altogether until they come up with the cash. So we'll kind of show them a cost of waiting analysis and, where we can increase the interest rate a little bit now, cover some of the closing costs, still way better than waiting 6-9 months for prices to go up, rates to go up, just for them to save a little bit more money.
Yeah, we're seeing that strategy a lot in the community. What about buyer fatigue? Are you seeing much buyer fatigue in your marketplace?
We've had quite a few that kind of got out of the market for a little bit, but some of those are starting to come back in now. They kind of got out 90, 120 days ago, and we've had quite a few over the last 30 days that have reached back out and said, all right, we kind of want to be ready to start moving again, into December and January. So we've started to kind of update numbers for them and see where things are, as they're kind of understanding and seeing the same thing, that the market's, not slowing down completely, but, that it's not quite as competitive with the number of offers as it was, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, no, we're hearing that in the entire mortgage coach community. But one thing that I don't think is losing momentum in any market is just an advisor, someone that's a coach and advisor. And
right.
And when I say coach and advisor, I'm not talking about coaching on the transaction, coaching on credit. I'm talking about beyond the transaction, helping the family really, you're clear on their goals and their financial achievements they want to have.
Right.
And then you're recommending mortgage strategies to do that. Why don't you share a couple examples of families that have either been confused or they weren't coming in with the right financial strategy to win the offer, and how your advice made a difference?
So, recently we had a client that, they were originally looking and they wanted to do 20% down, but they knew they were going to have to overpay for what the appraisal was, and they were okay with it. And our deal is to always educate them and give them the options and explain each one to them, not so much tell them, hey, this is what you should or shouldn't pay. And so they were okay with doing that. And so we put together the numbers for them, and we lowered the down payment because they had to have an appraisal gap that was put together. And I know that, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, inside of the community on, appraisal gap strategies and things like that. So we just lowered the down payment a little bit to cover the appraisal gap, but ultimately their cash out of pocket was the same because of covering that gap, and their payment ended up being the same as what it was because we bought out the PMI on the loan. So they were no different than where they would have been, and they paid $50,000 over, and we went from an 80% loan to value to a 90%, but their cash out of pocket was the same. Their monthly payment was the same. Everything was the same for them. They got the house of their dreams that they really wanted, and everybody else, was surprised that we were able to make that happen without them having to come together with the 20% plus the $50,000 shortfall.
Well, I have this thesis that, while we're in the mortgage business and we do loans for folks, we're really in the clarity and confidence business.
Right.
The more we could give a family clarity and the more confident they are around that clarity that we've given, they win, we win, realtors win, everybody wins. So
Absolutely.
why don't you show the total sample of the total cost where you gave family clarity and confidence? And I don't know if it's the one that you're referencing right now or it's a different one.
Yeah, this one's a different one. Let me get it shared here, and I'll kind of give you a little backdrop on it. So this was a client that we've helped before, but they're not going to be able to sell their home in time to be able to purchase because of just things that they have going on. And so originally they were thinking, well, we need to do an FHA loan because it's the lowest down payment, and we need to try to minimize our cash. So
And so this was someone that wanted an FHA. And guys, make note, he's got his brand, he's got the photo that he wants in the upper left-hand corner, he's got his company logo and the jersey that he wears right there. So what are we looking at here?
So what we put together was the FHA loan for them because that's what they asked about. So I wanted them to see, that, we're taking to heart what they wanted to do, and then explain to them why there's a better option. And so what we did is then we put together what they expected to see on a conventional loan, which was at that point was a 3.125 rate, and they needed roughly 31,500 at closing. And they really needed to be under 28,000. They were going to be strapped to come up with the rest of the money here at the holidays. And so the FHA loan was going to get them there at 25,200, but with a payment of 2540. So we went to a conventional loan with 5% down and got their cash to close down to 27.5 and still with a payment of 2335. So we saved them $200 a month, and all they had to do was come up with basically $2,300 over the FHA loan, but they saved $200 every month. So inside of a year, they're gaining money that they would have been losing had they gone on an FHA loan.
What do you ever take situations like that and put the monthly payment, like, hey, what if you wanted this loan, you're going to go with this loan, what if you took that monthly difference and prepaid the mortgage? How much faster would you pay off the loan? Do you ever?
Yeah, absolutely. We
implement
do the analysis to show the extra money a lot, especially on refinances. We use that a lot, and it's a huge tool to be able to show people how much money they can really save. And we'll do that, when people are looking and they're kind of torn between doing a 15 or a 30 on a purchase a lot as well.
Got it. So the theme here is, guys, there's options, and to position yourself as a coach and advisor, I think it's a requirement that you give a family options, or you really are a loan officer selling a loan, presenting a loan. The only way to really be a coach and advisor is to give them options. And then the best coach always show the transparency of those options over time. And then I I align with this belief. Tell me what your thoughts are on this, is that people don't get loans because they want loans. They get loans because they want homes. And they really want homes that are either debt-free and they have financial freedom, or they have enough money in some account to where paying off their mortgage is just a strategic planning decision. And so every chance you get, you want to give them a strategy to pay off their home faster, or a strategy to save money faster so they can pay off their home faster.
Absolutely.
That's how you roll?
Yeah, I mean, it's, like we always talk about, it's for most people, it's the largest asset and the largest debt. And it's, foolish of us to not try to help them to manage that, and to build that long-term relationship with them, to show that you truly do care about their family long-term, of, how to gain wealth through it and how to get rid of the debt if it makes sense, or if it doesn't, to take that savings and put it into other things that are going to help their family long-term.
No doubt. And again, you are a mortgage coach. You are helping families beyond the typical transaction. They're becoming more financially literate because of you. Go to the screen where you actually create a TCA, because I want to pivot. Like, this is the borrower strategy. This is a great strategy. Yep. I want to get to how do you create these. And click on the upper right-hand corner where it says settings. Yeah, in the upper right-hand corner next to partners.
Yep.
Click on settings. So guys, I want you to make note there that he's created 1,648 total cost analysis. Over 1,000 of them have a video. So that means he's creating these numbers. Him and his team are putting a video on it. And then check that out, guys. They have been viewed over 34,000 times. That's
344,000.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say, now talk to me about that. How did you get so much distribution and views on your videos? I've actually never seen that big of a call it making it social and sharing it.
Yeah. So I think, we do a lot with, our partners and putting stuff together. In subdivisions that I have, I'll put them together for new homes, and I'll put those together, and they'll be inside the new home on an iPad or something for people to see and kind of look at. So I think they get viewed a lot through that. And then we try to really put together stuff on our social media for people to be able to see on cost of waiting and, rent versus own comparisons and things like that.
So guys, that is the most views I've seen from a ratio. Usually a mortgage coach will be 5 or more times. So 5 to 8 times 1,600 would be, by the way, that would be really good. Like, that would be the upper percentage. So to see this, it means that you're using this content in your marketing, in your training, right, and in the marketplace. And that is, again, you're becoming the digital mayor of that market you serve. Give me some, you can go ahead and stop sharing the screen now.
Yeah.
And just walk me through all the different strategies. So you said you work with a lot of builders and you're having them on display, like with iPads. Is that one strategy?
Yeah. So basically I just bought, some stands, similar to like what you guys might have at like Sales Mastery or something, with, a stand out there and an iPad showing a total cost analysis on that home with some different financing options. So we'll put those together. I put together a lot when I'm teaching classes with agents to show exactly what we offer to their clients, and how it can benefit them and their clients as they're searching for a home. So,
time out.
Yep.
I want to drill down on that one. So we're seeing that happen more and more. In fact, one of the most viewed videos in the past 2 weeks was Denise Donahue, the mortgage nerd, did a 5, maybe 6-minute video on how she uses a TCA at realtor meetings. Now, are you giving the link to the realtors ahead of time so that not only are they seeing what you're showing on the screen, but they also are clicking on it and they have it?
No, I normally give it to them after. So we kind of go through it to begin with, and then we'll print it and give it to them, and then we'll go through it, and then I'll send them the link and the presentation afterwards.
Okay, so you are using paper. Denise had mentioned that she does print them out and use them as a handout in the in-person meeting. Sounds like you're doing
absolutely.
That.
Yeah.
And then I interviewed Dan Keller a few days ago, and he said that he's doing, was it Dan Keller? Who was it that is doing 5-minute realtor meetings. Oh no, it was Chris Devon out of
Okay.
Boston is doing 5 and 10-minute realtor group meetings on Zoom, and he's sharing the link in chat. Are you doing
Nice.
that at all?
I have not done that at all, but that's a neat idea.
Well, what else are you doing? Keep going with ideas on socializing these things.
So, so we do a lot of stuff with Deborah and her group over at Plug and Play SM.
You're a customer first?
Yes, we are. So
Nice.
love having her and being able to utilize her services and knowledge. I mean, she's dynamite and just really fantastic, and has taken our social media stuff to a new level. So so we really just focus on making sure that we're getting those opportunities with the agents, whether it's through social media or through lunch and learns, or kind of mortgage 101 classes that we put together, and always looking for opportunities to get this in front of more realtors, to differentiate ourselves.
So I have this belief that there is literally a financial literacy crisis in America. I mean, I know when I graduated from high school, I didn't graduate from college, but I did go to college, and I didn't come out fiscally literate. I didn't know a rent versus own. I didn't know how to really manage liabilities and manage mortgages. And the fact that you're partnering with Deborah Bird and Plug and Play, it sounds like you're pretty serious about not just closing loans, not just winning in multiple offer situations, but making sure everybody that follows you on social media is becoming more financially literate. Is that
fair? So we're kind of taking it to a whole new level from that standpoint. So I spent a good amount of years volunteering as a football coach, and so I know that you've been around sports and stuff through your son and kids and stuff. So I agree that I think that kids coming out of school know very little, and if their parents don't teach it to them, they don't get it anywhere, and they have to kind of learn it on their own. And so we've put together a program that we're starting with some of the local school systems here in our area. So basically taking a financial advisor, a CPA, an insurance agent, myself, and then a realtor. And we're going into the high schools and doing kind of a free class, and kind of a once a week type deal, to where, and we use the auditorium at the school, and, I may go and speak for, 30 minutes, and, that we keep them to an hour, and they're voluntary, like kids don't have to come, but we've gotten pretty good turnout on it. And it's, we're trying to educate them on all those different areas, from financial, taxes, insurance, all the different things that they don't know, that they're going to need to know as they move out into the real world when they leave school. So that's been a really cool deal, and is a big passion of mine moving forward, is to try to expand that into more schools. So
did some of those views, all the those 300 some odd views, come? Are you sharing a TCA in any of those classes?
Absolutely, yeah. Wow. So we go through and show how it impacts them in different areas, from a rent versus own versus a 15-year versus a 30, so that they can truly see how much something's going to cost them and how much it benefits them over the long haul.
What about, are you doing anything where you're showing a debt consol, and you're showing how different types of debts perform versus others, so that they're a little more strategic about credit cards and car loans and student loans and all that stuff?
Yeah, we go through all those different things between me and the financial advisor. We go through those different things and how they'll impact, their abilities and what they can do long-term based on those decisions. And, both from a credit standpoint and then from a wealth standpoint, long-term, of how each one plays a part.
So Mike, when we started this conversation, we were going to talk about how to help buyers win in multiple offer situations. But when I promote this in our YouTube channel, I'm going to call this "How to Be the Captain of the Wealth Team." Because, coming from sports as you do, I mean, that sounds like that's what you've done. You said, "Hey, I'm the captain of the wealth team locally here, and I'm going to go recruit a realtor. I'm going to recruit a CPA. I'm going to recruit my team, and then we're going to go in and we're going to educate Is it high school and college students?
It's just high school, and so it's so it's kind of a it's a great way to build the future of you know the people in our area. They're going to go out other places, but and it's not, we're giving this information to people that are obviously not going to be, especially from a mortgage standpoint, may not be necessarily a client right now. They're in high school, but we've had parents that have been like, man, I didn't know some of these things. Like, they go home, parents call, we end up putting together a TCA for them. We do a refinance, or they look to move. And then if we do our part and we continue to stay in front of those kids when they get out, and we're continuing to send stuff to them that's truly educational and beneficial, then when time comes, like, I'm the person they're going to think of, and that financial advisor is the one they're going to think of, and that real estate agent. So,
well, and there you have it, guys. The local advisors can end this financial literacy crisis in America. And just imagine if, for anyone listening to this on our YouTube channel, if every mortgage coach that's a black belt, that knows more about advice, knows more about the power of mortgages, knows more about how to intelligently manage liabilities. Just imagine, guys, if not only did you serve the families that you're putting into debt with either a home loan to buy a home, or you're consolidating their loan, or you're refinancing their home, but just imagine if you guys all dedicated some time to going out to high schools and colleges in your local market. One, you'd get better, you'd do good,
right.
and you'd get value back. So Mike, would you be cool if we maybe did, because I did not come in prepared.
No, absolutely. I kind of threw that on you.
Yeah, like all of a sudden I'm looking at your gamification screen, and I'm like, 34,000, no, 340,000. Like, didn't see that coming. And then I didn't know you were doing this in high school. So I would love to dedicate a call to just how can a mortgage coach team up with some local advisors and do this. Is that something you'd be willing to share to a bigger
absolutely.
audience?
I'd love to.
Okay. So we're gonna have to keep this coming. If anyone is listening to this and you want to learn more on this topic, let me know down below. If you are also the captain of the wealth team in your local market, and you're teaming up with other financial advisors, and you're going out and you're educating America, let me know. I'm looking for more interviews like this. So let's go up into wrap up mode. Any closing thoughts you have for the audience? I mean, you've watched these videos on the YouTube channel. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think we just continue to lean on each other. We have so many great people in this community to get ideas from, and to continue to take things to the next level. And the opportunities that we have to change people's lives are unbelievable. And taking that serious, and really trying to help people. If you do that, like, you take care of yourself. It's I never would have believed that I would close 400 plus loans a year. And I remember going to Sales Mastery, and I was closing 50 to 75 loans a year. And I tell people to this day that the single greatest thing I've ever bought in my life was Mortgage Coach. Like, and I truly believe that wholeheartedly. I met with a loan officer that we just hired, and I finished up my deal today with him, and I said, "Do you know about Mortgage Coach?" He was like, "Is this a coach that, like, I call and talk to?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Let me explain it to you. Let me show it to you." I was like, "You have to be a part of this, because it will change how you do your business." And I told him, I told you this, I changed to Movement 3 months ago, and you asked me, you were like, "Hey, can you send me over a fee sheet?" I'm like, "Dave, I don't know how to do it. Like, I've never pulled a fee sheet here in 3 months. I didn't pull one for 5 years at my previous company. I don't know how to pull one, because I don't ever send numbers that way."
And you're a good man, my friend. And guys, follow this guy on social media. At your company at Movement, Keith Collins is another great mortgage coach that's helping families one at a time. And then he's also putting a megaphone on the social media that he creates. It's
Absolutely.
like if you follow him, you follow Dan Keller, you follow Denise Donahue, these Kelly Zitlow, the list goes on of loan officers that are saying, you know what, there's a bigger calling here.
Right.
Like not only can I do loans and be extraordinarily successful, I can educate families. Also, guys, you mentioned that Deborah Bird does his social media. You could check her out at Plug and Play FM, SM for social media.com. Also, she is our social media manager for the Modern Real Estate and the Modern Mortgage Summit. So follow the Modern Mortgage Summit on, I mean, we're on Facebook and Instagram, but I think we're most consistently active on Instagram. So Modern Mortgage Summit, Modern Real Estate Summit. And Deborah's creating that content. And like our goal is like when we create content, yeah, we want you to stop scrolling. Yeah, we want you to notice us, but we want to educate. Like, how is financial planning,
Right.
how is financial literacy a competitive advantage? So check it out. So Mike, thanks for all this time. I am looking forward to our next interview where I come in a little more prepared to like really pull out the magic of what you're doing, my friend.
All good, Dave. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thanks for all that you do. And thanks to everybody else in the community for all they do.
All right, take care, everybody. This call is a wrap. Have a great holiday, everybody. And